Laurie, you're saying she's no bad habits.
Well, I mean, she has bad habits and she makes bad choices, but I don't think she's a bastard particularly, or she doesn't mean to be. I guess that's the thing. She's a bounty hunter. She's a single mum. She's been looking after her child, who's now 9, who's had leukemia. So she's got these medical bills, which makes her kind of forces her into a corner to make some choices that people might not like. But I don't think she's.
Well, you said that you're making excuses for her.
Yeah.
What did she do then that we might think is not right?
Well, she takes a job as a bounty hunter, and she takes her 9-year-old child with her on the job because she can't get a babysitter, which is probably frowned upon.
How hard are you trying, really, to get a babysitter?
Quite hard. Yeah,
So how
quite
difficult
hard.
can it be?
Well, it's tricky. It's the summer. People have gone on holiday, so she knows
People are
that
making excuses for it.
so she takes the child with her. But she is a brawler.
She is a brawler.
Yeah. So she's a woman in a predominantly male-dominated world. So she has to use her brains in order to outsmart people, but she also has to be able to do some of the physical stuff. So she uses a taser. She.
That's not brawling. That's tasering.
Well, it's
It's being tough.
It's being tough.
Okay.
It's being tough.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll come back to the brawling bit in a minute. But you think she's okay? She's not a bad person?
I think she's a good person who sometimes makes bad choices.
Yeah, you keep saying that. That sounds like she's.
But I think that's interesting because if it's just a bad guy, then where's you want people to kind of empathise with the character.
Oh, do you? Yeah. Well, okay.
And
Again, we'll come back to
maybe
that.
they'll make
I don't have many questions. Don't steal the few questions that I've got.
Okay.
So we're really going to be in trouble. Harry, tell us about Tati.
Yeah, well, Tatiana Goodwin is a good person. Begins as a good person in this series, but then she becomes badder and badder and badder. It's basically a crime family novel. It follows the trials and tribulations of a family. I'm really interested in domestic setups and domestic relationships. She is in her late 40s, maybe even in her early 50s, no one quite knows. She's not going to tell anyone. She inherits her husband's business. Basically, the Time to Win, the first in the series. It's quite hard to get my head around this. I've just finished the second one, which will be out in the spring. So
Available in all good bookshops?
all good bookshops. And
Some bad ones as well.
And some bookshops, it might not even be there at all. You know how these things operate. But she inherits this business. Her husband of 25 years was a total thug. He wasn't just a bastard. He was a brawler. He was a sort of local heavy who built a criminal empire in Great Yarmouth, and he is effectively bumped off at the beginning of the first book. She suddenly finds herself in this position of she doesn't quite know what. She doesn't really know what he's been up to because his business...
How could she not know? Say, right, I'm going to have to put you on the...
Okay,
she's basically a good person, but she's married to a criminal overlord.
Yeah, and she's spent a lot of those last 2 decades knocking herself out on antidepressants, sleeping pills and spa treatments. And she's avoided confronting what was really going on.
Yeah.
And also, she was looking after their 3 kids. So she spent a lot of time doing the motherly thing, trying to keep them away from her husband and all the rest of it. No, don't get me wrong, she wasn't entirely good. She quite enjoyed the fruits, if you like, of his endeavours. They have a villa out in Ibiza. They have, she's got a Hermes handbag and all this sort of stuff. And until he disappeared, or rather until he was shifted off this world, she felt, arguably comfortable, if not comfortable, then so knocked out with these various pills, prescription and other, that she didn't confront what was going on. So then suddenly she's in this position, what is she going to do? And on the one hand, she needs to continue the mothering role to look after her kids who are grown up now, and what she then realises is actually her husband has been quite clever in the way he's pushed them into these careers, because the eldest son has gone off into the city and is a currency trader, so that's got the sort of financial area sorted out. The middle daughter is a lawyer, so that's got the legal sorted out. And the youngest son was about to go off to Loughborough to do sports science, so he's the muscle. So she realises actually he's been quite clever in the way that he was going to incorporate all these traits and family into the business. So it's her job now to decide, what do I do with this empire that is part legal, part not, that involves people trafficking, drug running, as well as the regeneration of Great Yarmouth.
She's taken upon herself to regenerate Great Yarmouth as well.
Yes.
This woman's got a hands